Let's get to it.
Okay, YouTube, what's going on? It's Mesa back at it with, well, a review of the Netduma R1, specifically, in this case, for Destiny PvP. The folks at Netduma saw my video regarding matchmaking in the Crucible and the lag fest, okay, and took note in that I pretty much see 2 to 3 red bars in every lobby I go into. So they kindly sent me this router to test out, and we're going to go through it. I'll give you the punchline right now. The thing is fantastic. Now, I am not sponsored by them. They sent this to me and said, hey, do an unbiased review. Let us know your thoughts. So I'm not sponsored or anything by them. This is just my impressions of using it all weekend. So I'm going to show you how to set it up and how I use it basically for noobs. It's plug and play. Very, very easy to use, set up, and make your settings so that you don't have to connect to people far, far away, okay? So when you open her up, you get your instructions, how to set it up. It literally is plug and play, okay? The router itself, I believe, is not made by them. They make the software. It's not the router that does the work here. It's the software built into this, the firmware that's in the router. Now, the router itself, okay, it's got 5 ports. One goes to your internet service provider, and then the others you could delegate to other devices, okay? You could use anything. You can plug anything into it. It's also got a USB on the side, and also it's got Wi-Fi built in. So now I am located in New York City, so I'm still living in a tiny studio apartment. And here's my setup. 55-inch 4K TV, iMac on the side that does all my recording and streaming. The router sits right on top of my PlayStation 4, plugged into my Verizon Vios Quantum, and there's a little tired Jack Russell Terrier. Now, the actual process to set it up took 5 minutes, and I run the software on the iMac that's right on the side of my TV there. So let's go in and run some tests specifically for Destiny. Now, the software has tons of features, okay, but for you, for noobs like me, we want to get some games without lag and not connect to people far, far away. So there's the 2 sliders you see right there where you could set your ping and also the radius of people that you will connect to. So you can see I set the ping to 60 and I set the distance to basically surrounding the New York City area. You can go in and zoom. However, let's take a look at some connections when we're not setting the radius and not setting the ping. So for the first test here, I fired up Control, which is the daily Crucible mode, and I set the ping as far as I could, and I also set the radius as far as I could, which means I can connect to anybody. So you can see right there, those little red dots, that's who I'm connecting to. There's someone all the way in the UK, there's someone all the way at the bottom, and you can actually click on them, and it shows you how far away they are. The guy at the bottom is about 9,000 miles from me, okay? There's even some people in Mexico, I believe, and even in the Caribbean that I'm connecting to without any filtration whatsoever. Remember, the radius is set all the way to the extreme, and same thing with the ping. I can connect to anybody, and look at the guy at the bottom. Yeah, about 9,000 miles away. I don't want to connect to that person. Now, that was just one of the tests for Control, okay? A number of them were basically the same thing. I was getting people in Australia, people in the UK. I switched over to Rumble just to do a quick test, and the same basic thing. Start getting connected to people in the West Coast, and also not far from me. The goal of this router and software is for you to choose, and you're going to filter out people. You want to choose based on their ping, as well as the distance from you. Remember, the lower the ping and closer to you, you're probably going to get a better connection, and thus green bars. We want green bars. I'm sick of Destiny games of running into at least 2 to 3 red bars every game. Okay, so now for the goodies right here. Now I set my ping to 60 milliseconds, and I set my radius to about 1,400 and something miles, okay? So I fired up Control. It's still about 2:40 in the morning, and also on a Saturday night in New York City, okay? So now I set the radius closer to where I live, and we're going to see where people connect. Whoops, someone popped up there in Florida. Now you see a bunch of exclamations over there? I believe that's people that are getting filtered out. Now when the game actually loads in, I'm only connected to people that are within that radius that I chose. Now you see in the bottom left corner, I'm going to go look at all the connections. Look at that. Green bar galore. I was so happy, okay? And my games have been fantastic with using this thing because I'm not connecting to people with red bars. It's so annoying. Okay, so here we are. We're going to fire up Rumble again. Here's another example. Fire up Rumble on a Saturday night, in the middle of the night, like 2:40 in the morning still. Yeah, that's when I recorded all of this stuff. And you can see here, still got the ping set to 60. I got the radius still set to about 1,400 miles away from me. And it's going to take a little bit longer, okay? I do notice that. When you see... You got to find a fine line between how far away you want to set your radius, okay? You can see there it's trying to connect me to someone all the way in Canada. No. You'll see by the end of this when it connects me, and it only took about a minute to find a game of Rumble and get me connections with everyone that's within the radius. You can see there's someone in Florida popping up, and by the end, I'm going to be connected to people that are all within the radius. And guess what? Punchline, they all have green bars, okay? And in Rumble, for some reason, it never happens to me. I'm always having connection problems when it comes to Rumble. So Having really good results with this thing so far, guys. And let's take a look here. We're about to fly in, and I'm going to hover over all of their characters here. Not characters, what am I saying? Yeah, look, all green bars, okay? So the thing does work, guys. You just got to find that fine line between, do you want to set your radius really close, and you might have longer wait times, or set it far enough so that you get good connections, and they're not that far away. Okay, so that's it for the review, guys. I've been using it all weekend, and I love it. I'm using it. I'm keeping it. Thank you, Netduma, for sending it to me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and if you want me to do an advanced tutorial, okay? There's some things you could do also for PvE. There's a main Destiny server that's right smack in the middle of the United States that you want to what's called whitelist, okay? You could also do things like whitelist your friends, which means that if you're trying to connect to friends, you could put them on a whitelist, which means that it won't filter them out. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Drop a like on this video only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at Mesa. Check out my stream, usually on YouTube. And that's it. I'm out of here like Vladimir.